All right. Welcome to Kick the Can Podcast. After a little hiatus with the holidays, and I was under the weather a little bit. Matt was not feeling the greatest. Sort of got a little bit behind on doing some episodes, but we're gonna hit 2026 with the ground running, and we're excited about it this year. Getting more and more followers and listeners and comments. Still having a lot of fun with it. As we move forward, like for today's episode, the holidays are behind us now. We're into the new year, and there were so many things that I was thinking about with Christmas as you go, through your whole life. You have a lot of memories of Christmas, whether they're growing up, a young adult, married, parent, a lot of things that came to my mind. So I'm gonna share a couple of things about Christmas that really strong in my memory. One of the first things is I see now my son, the one that has the baby. He's putting toys together, and even though it was a little dollhouse or this or that, everybody out there can relate to trying to put toys together either the night before or the morning of or after they get opened, scrambling for batteries. When my kids were a certain age, it felt like it would have been easier going to work and relaxing than, putting toys together from 7 in the morning till 12 in the afternoon. But it's a lot of fun when you look back on it. I wanted to share that because now I guess I'll be watching my son do it as he moves forward being a parent. It's one of those little pleasures that go unnoticed, but they're all part of it. And another thing is the Christmas tree. As I went through some pictures and stuff, we took our Christmas tree down today, artificial, in a box, lights on it and everything, nice and easy. But we used to always cut our Christmas tree down. I'm going to put a picture up of Matt's going to grab a picture of one of the adventures of cutting the tree down. And my wife thought it was the greatest thing since, sliced bread. And what was funny about it, we had heard about it. We just we just moved into the house, so we can get a bigger tree. So we always had a real tree. And we would go every year up to Connecticut and cut the tree down. And my wife inevitably would always ask somebody to come with us. So, we had the two little ones, the dog, go get the tree. It's a whole day. Sometimes you go, it's a beautiful day, not freezing cold out. Sometimes it's nasty weather. But we would always ask another couple or two to come with us. And over the years, nobody came twice. They novelty, yeah, it's cute. Nobody thought it was the greatest. But we just persevered through. We went for a good amount of years. And then we discovered Stu Leonard's, since we lived right next to Stu Leonard's, to where you would just go in. They had zillions of trees, all price ranges, and the trees were really fresh and nice. and they weren't they weren't expensive, So you just pick your tree out, and you don't handle anything. You're not cutting anything. Point it out. They come over, give you a stub. You drive around Stu Leonard's, get in line. You pull up, give them the ticket. They put the tree on top of the car for you, and off you go. So basically, from where we lived up to Stu Leonard's, getting the tree door to door was an hour. So we stuck on that Stu Leonard's ride for many years, especially as the kids got older. They weren't going to cut no tree down. So and you always got a nice tree. And even if you didn't want to put it up right away, just slam it in the garage a little bit for a week. And then when you had a chance to put it up, it would always be a good tree. Little cleanup with the pine needles. I'm sure everybody out there is going through that now. Another real strong memory I have of Christmas is Mitch Miller sing-along. Somewhere in high school, I think it was, I'm almost positive, Louis had this, he had the album Mitch Miller Sing-Along, and the album came with the lyrics, like 6 or 7 copies of the lyrics. So, Christmas carols are funny. You think you know the words, if you're humming along, you miss a word here and there. But to see the words, with the Mitch Miller, who had a TV show back when we were younger on TV, and they just, Mitch just, he was just had a little chorus, and they were singing along. They would make even a pop song into a sing-along on the show. But the Christmas carols, to me, is there's a lot of great Christmas songs that come out through the years. People go crazy for Mariah Carey. But to me, it's the Mitch Miller and the Mitch Miller sing-along album. So I discovered it. Louis had turned us on to it, and we would go over there. And I think we would sing. I don't know if his father and his sister would get involved, but us and some of the guys, we would mess around with the Mitch Miller sing-along. And I thought it was a great idea that when I started to go to my family, we used to have a big, they called it a trimmer tree party. It was when we were mostly single. My Aunt and Uncle Eddie would be the only adults at the party, and a bunch of young people. And I think I brought the Mitch Miller album up to these parties, or they might have had it also. But once we started doing Christmas carols with Mitch Miller, it's so much fun. And it became a tradition. When are we going to do the Christmas carols? It would be a highlight of the night. And as we moved on through life, all my cousins started marrying, we all started having our own kids. That part of the Christmas Eve was always a highlight. You opening up gifts, the kids are little, somebody dresses up as Santa, and pass out some gifts. That's fun too for the kids. But the Mitch Miller sing-along was always a lot of fun. And in recent years, when just having a bunch of college kids and young adults come over, and we kept the Mitch Miller sing-along tradition alive. These kids, they loved it, and I would always be the organizer. It was, just a really great time. We would do some shots of tequila, and everybody be in the, in the mood. We hand out the sheet music, and off we went. I'm going to see if we have any video of those parties. Matt, you think you have video of those parties from our house with all your friends and stuff? Yeah, those were good times. And naturally, we moved on. We downsized, and that's like the only thing I miss about not having the house. You could have some great parties, but then I don't miss mowing the lawn and where's the plumber and all that shit. So, yeah, we moved on from that. We'll try to put up some video of those sing-alongs and stuff like that. So Christmas was great. We got the little granddaughter, and we were all together. My boys and my wife, myself. We got to see the baby a lot, and good stuff. So we're going on the positives. I'm feeling good. Christmas was great. We're passed into the New Year's. I was thinking also as we head into 2026. All my friends, mostly my school friends, high school, grammar school, we're all turning 72 this year, so boo for that. But it's just a number. We're all going to try to stay healthy. I stay in touch with a lot of people. My friends from Mount Carmel, who's always reaching out. My high school friends. We got a group of guys that really relish and appreciate the friendship that we could have now as we get older. So that's exciting. We get together for a little. I spoke about the dinner that we had, and it wasn't a shortage of Christmas messages and texts and sharing. So it's exciting. 72, is just a number. Like I said, you got to feel good and have your brain on a positive scale. What else is going on? Oh yeah, we went. I don't know if you guys saw. I put up on Facebook, Matt, and Instagram. I had gone down the neighborhood. We had a little dinner at the house on New Year's Eve. Good friends of my wife and me, Mike and Nancy. Just an early dinner. So we did all the cooking like the day before, and we had no. My wife goes, "We need some Italian bread." So you can get Italian bread like. In Bronxville, you're not getting Italian bread, but you can go over to some of the Italian delis. Then again, it's been on the shelf from the morning. Yeah, we were doing nothing. I says, look, Linda, we could be down the neighborhood in 9 minutes, really. It's a little bit of a hassle, but the parking and all of that. So why don't we just take a ride down the neighborhood? We'll go get a nice pan de gas. They'll slice it. We'll get a chigula bread. We'll stroll through the neighborhood, and that's what we did. We took a ride down the neighborhood, and when you're down there, sure enough, we went for the bread. Then we stopped in for sometimes I like to get a cappuccino and a piece of pastry. But my wife reminded me that when we were there for Ferragusto, we had gone into it's like an Italian import store. We got some cool stuff in there. Pasta dishes, fresh ground coffee, pasta from Italy, all kinds. They're all over the place. They got everything. So my wife mentioned that she wanted one of the bigger pasta bowls. So we went in, we got the pasta bowl. So we're strolling up and down the avenue there, and we went. Whenever I'm down there, I try to poke my head into the market, the open air market. My friend has the cigar concession that's sort of almost up to the front door in on the Arthur Avenue side. So I poked my head in, looking to say hi to my friend, and he wasn't there. So my wife says to me, well, why don't you get a sandwich here? You know, you've been wanting to get a sandwich. So we walked around. There's a guy back in the corner there. I don't know the name of his deli, but one of the guys back there is on social media. He'll make one of these sandwiches. They all got these crazy names. I says, oh, let me go take a stroll back there. I'll get one of these sandwiches. You know, I'll bring it home. There was a line for the sandwiches or whatever you get. You know, everything else he sells there. I mean, the cold cuts are all the same. The salads. I mean, that stuff you can get, you know, in 5 stores. You know, a minute walk either side of the market. So I wanted to, you know, get one of these signature sandwiches, and the line was so long I couldn't even see the board where what I was going to order. You know, if they got the Godfather, the Joe DiMaggio, who knows what they had. You know, I'm just throwing things out there. So I got shut out on the sandwich. But as we were walking back toward the car, we noticed also there's always a line for the mozzarella place, and we didn't need mozzarella. You know, we weren't looking to do that for our dinner that night. But there's a line also for that, and we didn't wait on the line. So we crossed over. We were heading down toward Fordham Road where our car was parked. And my wife says, why don't you go in here and get a sandwich? I'm sure they're all good. So I didn't even look at the name of the place. But it's, if you guys remember where the bank was, I think it's still a bank there on Arthur, across from the Roosevelt. And, you know, Ann and Tony's right across. It's a big deli in there now. I says, look, I'm getting an Italian combo. How bad could it be, really? So I order Italian combo, and they have little tables in there. It was very, very inexpensive. It was a full hero for only $12.50. I don't know what they go for, but in Tuckahoe here, where we go, this little sandwich spot in Tuckahoe, I think they're way more than that. It's probably like $18, right, Matt, for a sandwich? So I'm ready ahead of the game. Got my sandwich, got my Manhattan Special, and they had the TV on. There was a football game going. So I opened up the sandwich. I didn't watch the guy make the sandwich. He handed it over to me, and you go pay at the cashier. I open up the sandwich. I look at the sandwich. This guy had no training in sandwich making. You get a job making sandwiches. Maybe I'm a little sandwich snobby with my pedigree, you know. He makes the sandwich. When I open it up, can't make this up. You know, you cut the bread, you fold it open. He puts the lettuce, tomato, oil and vinegar, and roasted peppers in the crease of the sandwich, and then puts all the cold cuts on top of that. I wish I would have took a picture of this. So when he folded it and cut it, when you look at the sandwich head on from the cut, half of the sandwich on the left was half the sandwich was cold cuts, and in the corner of the bend was lettuce, soaking its way right through the bread and out. As soon as you lift it up and press on it to get your mouth over it, history. Everything's out. And the cold cuts were good. It was a good combination of cold cuts, but the sandwich was, not up to par. So I ate half the sandwich, and then I was coming back here to see Matt, and I brought him half the sandwich, and I guess I did a rant on the sandwich, and he goes, Dad, you got to tell everybody about the sandwich problem you had down at the neighborhood. And I won't mention the name of the deli, but you'll know if you've been down to the neighborhood. I feel like everybody, I'm going to remind everybody that, my after-school job was in Butchie's. And everybody would always say at that time, early 70s, in the 70s, Butch made the best sandwiches, in the neighborhood. And everybody came for those sandwiches, and all the characters of the neighborhood came for those sandwiches. And that's how I learned how to make sandwiches. And I always, when I go to a deli or I go get some cold cuts, I always joke around with the guy. I'll come back there and I'll show you how to cut cold cuts. It's like riding a bike. Probably not. I'd probably be in the emergency room with my hand sliced off. But, it makes good conversation. So with Butch, he had a following of people that would come for those sandwiches. The people that worked at Fordham University, the Fordham University students. Back in the day, there were all those car dealerships sort of on Fordham Road, and they would all come. And plus, just all the people from the neighborhoods, all corners of the neighborhood would either walk over or drive over and grab a sandwich for Butch. He had he had a few signature sandwiches. His main sandwich was the Butchie Bomber. It was an Italian combo. He would put hot and sweet peppers in it and give it a little kick. Another good sandwich he made was very popular was the tuna Whopper. He used Italian tuna, light on the mayonnaise. The Italian tuna had olive oil in it. And he would put American cheese, lettuce, tomato, oil, and vinegar. That was the tuna Whopper. I could almost taste it now. What else did he make to everybody? Well, naturally, every sandwich shop would be the roast beef. And it wasn't a roast beef. He wasn't in the back, Butch, slaving over in the oven making a roast beef. It was the one he got from the purveyor, probably the Boar's Head guy. And it was roast beef, lettuce, tomato, mayonnaise. The bread was always Addio, and the sandwich was delicious. And another thing, Butch wasn't charging a lot for a sandwich. It was, you get your soda, you get your great sandwich. And, it was one of the things I'm for sure that I took for granted, having just working in the deli, which I'm sure a lot of people did. And we would always have these, fresh cold cuts, fresh bread right there every day for a great sandwich. When we were in high school, we would wait for Butch to open up the store and grab some sandwiches real quick. When some of the guys would be driving, and we would bring them to mount with us, and everybody, whoa, look at these sandwiches! It was always a big hit. Butch, he used to make a sandwich like just for us. I got to share this with you guys. He would get a hero bread and rip the dough out of it, and get the boar's head ham and almost shred it on the lowest setting of the slicer, and shred the ham, and put a good quantity of ham in there, and then he would open a polio can of regatta, and he would put that regatta on there, and a little bit of pepper, fold it up, and it was like a calzone that you didn't heat up. It was just a cold calzone. Somehow I can't recreate that sandwich anywhere. Must be, especially when you're in the store. If you're gonna if Butch makes you a sandwich and you're gonna hang out with us and eat it, you can eat it. You're leaning up against the fruits and vegetables. Because it was more than the sandwich; it was the entertainment that Butch would provide while you were having lunch. Plenty of ball busting on both ends. So when I was thinking about the sandwiches, I'm going to relate a good Butchie story, and there's going to be plenty of Butchie stories moving forward. Guy was just the character of characters, and I was lucky just to have that time after school job, and whenever he was in a pinch or he wanted a day off and I was doing something else, I would try to go in there, help him out. And the years went fast, unfortunately. That's one of the things. The years go fast. Butch, he kept me on a keel through those years. You know when they are, when you can just go off the rails. When people are going off the rails all around you, they stay just just enough common sense and guidance from him and others to just keep my nose to the grindstone. And I repaid Butch when my son Luke was born. Luke was the godfather. We kept, gave him his, showed my appreciation for many, many years. So there's going to be plenty of stuff to talk about Butch moving forward. So before we left the neighborhood, I was down on 189th. I was heading up the hill. And my wife, she saw a PS45 on the right there, and I was going to go down my block, 2505 Hoffman, do the pilgrimage to the old apartment building. But I said to my wife, no, that's the public school. I'll show you my school. So I just went up, naturally, I passed Hoffman, went up to Laurelard. I made the left, and you get right through the field, you see Mount Carmel. And I says, I said, that's Mount Carmel. She's one thing about my wife, she's a Jersey girl. She's impressed when she sees my schools between Mount Carmel and Mount St. Michael. She's really impressed that I was fortunate enough to have these opportunities. I thought I went to the best schools that were available to me at that time. So when we swung around, right away I saw the field under construction, and I jumped out and made a little video. I want to share it with you guys. Hopefully I can get down to the neighborhood a little bit more often, every few months or whatever, and maybe get a progress report on what they're actually going to do with the field. But even in the view on the little video I took, I did panned around to the boys' club, which we're going to get into also. The boys' club was a real formative place for us, got us out of the cold, got us to do some stuff. So there's a lot to talk about and share about the boys' club that'll be coming up. Once again, I want to thank everybody, for reaching out. And moving forward, we're still going to do some kind of a food episode. And there's a lot of people I still want to reach out to that have reached out to me. So it's going to be fun. Try to put some more video in as I'm planning on maybe working a little bit less and clowning around with video and sharing it up with you guys. And please, the feedback is so appreciated. Even if you gotta say, you suck, Paulie, you forgot that, or you got it wrong. It's all welcome. It's all welcome. That's why I'm doing it. And I'm gonna give it a rest right here. And Happy New Year, everybody.